right, we're rolling.
Alright, how's it going, guys? We got with us the one, the only, Isaac.
How's it going, folks? I'm the little guy in the corner, for those of you who don't know.
And on the other corner, weighing at 100 and something pounds, rocking a black hoodie.
He looks like the Unabomber, bro. Look at this guy.
Kevin. It's Kevin.
What's up, guys? I'm the face of RTF, so you should know me.
Jesus.
And your one and only, Brian here.
Brian.
Together
the beloved
we are
Brian.
Evil figs.
Rolling
Together
the
we
film.
are
Rolling the film.
Rolling the film. Yeah.
We almost got it that time.
We almost got it.
So,
It's the internet.
Whose movie choice was this one?
It was mine.
Okay,
mine.
Kevin introduced the movie.
So today we are rolling the film on Enemy.
Yeah, Enemy.
Your
all right.
favorite film.
All right, Kevin. So why'd you choose this film?
Oh, man.
So I was nominated by Brian, so I thought, okay, we need to think outside the box this time. Uncut Gems is a beloved film. Like I said last week, any person could get into it. So I decided
So you went the opposite.
I went the opposite direction. I picked a film that most people can't get into. So I chose Enemy.
Okay.
Also, I've kind of wanted to see it for some time now, just for the premise of two Jake Gyllenhaals. Like, I like one Jake Gyllenhaal, so if there's two, it must be great.
That's true. That's a really good idea.
Okay, good point.
It's a
good point.
Pretty good concept. Okay, I'm just gonna start off this way so that we can start off with a positive look at it.
For sure.
So in the film, there's a bunch of spiders, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning, you have Anthony go to like a sex dungeon,
Okay.
and then there's a woman that threatens to kill the spider right with her giant heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, what kind of movie does Jake Gyllenhaal do?
I don't know. What?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. He's a antagonist in Spider-Man, and he's trying to kill the what?
The spider.
Spider. There you go.
Dang. I think I'm going to give this movie an A+. What do you guys rate it?
That's a long setup, though.
I know, but Brian and I were talking about the film earlier, and he really doesn't like it.
No.
I wasn't trying to bring it up, but Brian was like, know what? That movie you brought up, it just sucked.
Let's pump the brakes. The brakes. Initial thoughts, Brian.
I'll defend
initial thoughts.
My initial thoughts, it had some pretty good points. I like the suspense, the whole mystery behind it, like what's going on with this. But spoiler alert, right? We gotta throw that out.
Always.
But yeah, so it's like you get like a bunch of good like suspense, some like mystery. You're not sure which direction is going. You're getting close to the conclusion, the climax, and it's like amazing. Where it's like that whole accident happens where Mary realizes that what's his name?
Anthony.
What was his name?
Anthony.
Adam St. Clair, right? Or Claire?
Anthony St. Clair.
Anthony St. Clair.
Mm-hmm.
So that it wasn't Adam, that it was Anthony, and then that whole car accident thing. But then that ending just kind of threw everything off. Like there was a huge giant spider in the restroom. Like what the hell? So what does this all mean? Kind of thing.
I'm telling you, it was a precursor to his future choices.
Yeah, but see, it's like for me, I watch movies not to really kind of have to go do my own research. Just to like, oh, what does this mean? I want to watch movies and understand them, and then be able to have be able to understand it on my own without having to kind of just sit there and be like, okay, what the fuck just went on? Because like this movie, I had to research this because I didn't know what was going on with this movie, and there's a bunch of theories out there that just like theories, so that's kind of not my ideal way of watching a movie. So yeah, that's my opinion.
What about you, Isaac? Oh my gosh, this cereal.
Wait, what's going on?
What were your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts?
And that Enemy.
Well, when I first saw this movie 2 years ago, I was really excited because this came out after Prisoners, and as we know, Prisoners was a very successful collaboration amongst Jake Gyllenhaal and director Denis Villeneuve, and it was just a really powerful film. So then I'm like, you know what? They're gonna go back to back World War champs. They're gonna do it, and they didn't do it. It did not happen. I feel like Prisoners. You said this last time with Uncut Gems, how it's like super accessible. It's not like this art house film that it's hard to get into. Um, Enemy, Enemy is that art house film. This is very much the antithesis of Uncut Gems. It's
Yes,
super hard
I
to
accomplished
enjoy.
my goal of choosing something completely out there.
Well, you outdid yourself. Um, I really enjoyed it. I love the cinematography and like all the small little details throughout the film. Giving it a second watch really 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 adds to the story. Because when it first came out, I saw it like 3 or 4 times. Because I was like, I don't get this. What's going on? And then I also enjoyed Jake Gyllenhaal's acting in the beginning as a history teacher. And then after that, I didn't really enjoy his acting much because he was kind of a jerk when he was being the other character. What was the other character's name? Is it David?
Anthony.
Anthony,
Which
Anthony.
Anthony and what? What was the
Adam.
Adam?
Adam's-
All right.
Adam is the teacher. Anthony or Claire.
Anthony's the
Last name's
asshole.
Claire. Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Yeah. The ending was ridiculous. That were my initial thoughts, initial reactions. Ruined the film for me.
Yeah.
Ooh. Awesome. Well, I want to focus on what Brian said when he said that you have to do your own research when it comes to the film. And I was thinking about it, and I think a lot of people have a bunch of opinions about what the film really is, and there's a lot of ideas about interpretation when it comes to cinema. But the one I always like to view is that the answer must always be within the text. Like, even if an author, like 10 years later, comes out and says, an author or like a director says, this is what it really means, I feel like that's just their opinion. What's solid is the text. Everything else is optional. And within the text, it starts off with a quote. It says something like, something about order. Order is pure, but it's undeciphered.
So it was like order is something about like the only thing in constant in a disaster or something like that, right?
Yeah, but it's undeciphered.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what's it sets up the whole movie. So the answer is within the film, and so you don't have to go outside. You don't have to listen to what other people say. Because I was listening to this other reviewer, and he was like, it's one of those bad thumbnail videos, like enemy explained or enemy ending explained. And he's like, he said something along the lines of, I hear all these people with their theories, but no, the answer is right here through the director's own mouth. And I had an issue with that because, yeah, the director says it, but it is not absolute because the director says it.
Totally.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Did you? I didn't end up checking, but did you end up looking to see what the director had to say about the film?
Yes, they that video I said, he talked a lot about what the director had said. And I also watched some featurette on the film, which gave me a lot of answers. Because the director doesn't really say like what he thinks it is. He says he's really open to having people have their own interpretations.
That's
But
cool.
what he did and the featurette itself did was that it pointed out to things within the film.
That's cool.
So like I didn't really notice it firsthand, but then they examined like a lot of the spider symbolism throughout the film. So like
Yeah.
things that it's placed in. So you see a spider at the faculty lounge where Adam works at. Adam's mother has an apartment and she has a bunch of strings that look like spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's that scene where Adam's girlfriend is riding a subway, or I don't know what they're called.
Yeah,
Wasn't
yeah.
it the metro
The
thing?
metro, yeah.
Yeah, the metro thing. So it's on a string or like a cord.
Yeah.
But above the cord, there's a bunch of wires, and the wires together they look like webs.
Oh, dang!
So
Nice.
there's spiders throughout the film.
There's also one when he gets in the car accident. If you look at the windshield, it like
Yeah, it looks like a web.
and it looks like a web. So it's
Yeah, it's very clever. So like watching the featurette after I'd seen the film, I was like, oh, okay, I have a greater appreciation for all the details that have gone into this.
Yeah, project. I kind of enjoyed how subtle it was. Like it wasn't really in your face. You really had to pay attention.
Yes, and I was very much surprised that I was able to be engaged in that sort of thing because, like Brian said, like sometimes when you watch a movie, you just want to be immersed in the world. Like
you're trying to just enjoy it and like not really have to kind of observe everything and just kind of like. That's what I feel like. For me, watching movies, I like taking it at that pace and trying to kind of not really have to look out for every little details that there are. I like just kind of seeing what is there. Yeah, because I don't like explore. I don't try not to explore too much into the movies the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
I try to like focus on what's going on, and then if it's intriguing enough, then I go around and just kind of observe everything around it.
Yeah, I feel like for this movie in particular, from the beginning, like you really have to pay attention. Because I feel like there's not... Well, of course, like throughout the film, all this stuff happens, but the pacing is super slow. So you're sort of forced to really like, okay, why are we here? Like, what is the point of this? Why is he doing this now? So I feel like everything was sort of really instrumental, but you really didn't realize it unless you looked at like someone else explaining it, or you look back at the film. You're like, oh, I didn't catch that the first time. That sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think Brian motivated me because as soon as he watched the film, he was like, "Oh, this is just bad." I was like, "Really? It's that bad?" It like, I mean, just by seeing trailers and stuff, I'm like, "This looks very well shot. It looks like it has a lot of direction behind it."
Yeah.
And so when I was watching it, I paid particular attention. So I feel like I have Brian to thank for my love of the film.
Yeah.
So when you pay particular,
I think it's because as soon as you chose the movie, like that within that 15 minutes I started watching it, so I pretty much just went in blind because I didn't really have much of a background on this movie. It's not something that I had in my radar, and it's not something that I was really looking forward to and all that stuff. So when you brought it up, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I guess this seems like an interesting concept. But besides that, I didn't really go in expecting to kind of have to pay that much attention to the minor details in the movie. So that's why I was kind of just like thrown off for the most part till it started to pick up and all that stuff.
It is a bit difficult to follow because Adam is your main character and he's very boring.
Yeah.
He's super dull. Like there's nothing exciting about the guy. Like even at the beginning, they ask him like about entertainment. He's just like, "Oh yeah, I don't really go out. I don't watch movies." Like, and I feel like that's already a trigger. If you're within the medium and a character insults that medium, then you're already not supposed to like relate to him at all.
Yeah, super unlikable.
I mean, and then his class was the first couple scenes with his classroom. It kind of repeated the same lecture, right?
Yeah, he keeps talking about the same idea of
the
dictatorship.
Control. Yeah, it was like about control, establishing control, stuff like that. Which I thought when I first heard all that stuff talking about control, that's what I was trying to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, they're repeating about control, so I feel like they're gonna try to establish more on that basis of like him needing control or something like that. But that I don't think it went on that kind of direction.
There was a few tidbits he has where he talks about like controlling like dictatorships where they control the masses through like entertainment.
Yeah.
And then as soon as that is brought up, then well not as soon, but he very soon after he gets introduced to the idea of watching a movie, and then his twin or his doppelganger, his counterpart, Anthony, is entertainment. He's the exact opposite of Adam in that regard. Like Adam is an educator. He's trying to inform the masses, and then according to Adam, the entertainment is supposed to get them to be more, I don't know, I guess easier to manipulate. And so Anthony represents that sort of mindset.
Yeah, I totally see what you mean.
Yeah.
One of the things that stood out to me, sort of separate, um, during like his in the beginning of the film, when he's teaching to the class, he says some sort of quote from I forget the philosopher's name, and it's basically, oh, history repeats itself, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then afterward he was like, oh, and then Marx, afterward he added, the first time it happens, it's like a tragedy, but the second time it's a farce. So it's all a bunch of BS if it happens more than once, right?
Yeah.
And I was looking at like a bunch of different reviews, and one of them, it was like a small YouTuber, it probably had like a couple hundred views. Um, he was like, he had a really cool idea. I forget his name, or else I would cite him because it was really cool.
Wait, we
Uh,
haven't posted this video up yet.
it's fine. I don't want to look him up.
No, I'm just joking. I was.
Don't make anyone famous using our podcast.
Only us. Only us.
Exactly.
What was okay? So he said how sort of how like it's a parallel to Adam's life, about how the first time he's like cheating on his wife. It's sort of like a complicated thing, and you sort of feel bad for him, and like, oh, you know what's gonna happen to his relationship, this and that. And then like if it happens more than once afterward, you're like, oh, this guy's pathetic. Like, why is he cheating on his wife? Like, it's so messed up. So I thought it was a
Yeah.
pretty interesting catch there. I didn't realize that one.
Yeah, I mean, going off of like reviewers and stuff like that, I also read another theory. It was like about the fact that it's it's his name is Adam, so like God made Adam, and then he had the
Okay.
scar near his rib, so like how God took like a piece of his rib to make Eve. So there was like a theory going around that like Anthony is a part of Adam, but then at some point they separated or something like that and became two different entities.
Dang, that's wild.
But there's like a bunch of theories, and that's why I don't really go
Can
for like
we
this
can we talk about the spider? What the hell
Yes.
does the
Spider at the
spider
end?
mean?
Yes, let me talk about the spider. So at the, I guess midway, you see a shot of Montreal, and there's a giant spider like crawling through the whole city.
Yeah.
Like probably the most surreal moment within the film.
Other than the ending.
The ending, I feel like, is an accumulation, so it makes more sense because
Okay.
that one is the thing that pops out the most.
Okay.
Apart from maybe that sex lady. You remember there was a spider lady? She had a spider head, but she was
Yeah.
just a topless lady.
Yeah.
But that was a dream, though. So that is actually based on like a statue in Montreal. It's a giant spider.
So was the
And-
statue there before the movie?
Yeah, it was there before the movie, and it's a mom. It's the name. It's mom in French or something like that.
Mom.
Yeah, yeah, and the idea of spiders is exclusive. If I remember correctly, it's exclusive to the film because it's based on a book.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah, it's based off of a book, but then I think the director said he wanted to bring his own kind of thing into it, aside
Yes.
from like what the book was.
Yeah, so there's a lot of subtle moments of spiders within the film. So I already brought up the beginning with the heel almost smashing the spider, the giant spider, the spiders linked throughout, and I always thought, and my evidence is just in the movie itself, but it's like a like desired itself, because I don't think any of it is supposed to be like sci-fi or horrific. I think all of it makes sense within the film. So like the end scene, like I feel like it's just him going to repeat the actions he's already done.
Yeah.
And so he sees a giant spider in his wife because he's going to fail her. Because the spiders have never really threatened him. It's not a sign of fear. It's just a sign of bad things to come, I guess, in
Yeah.
simplest terms.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it starts off with the whole key and access to that sex area, and in the end, he also Adam ends up getting access to it as well.
You have the key.
Yep.
I don't know. I just feel like the ending with that massive spider just cowering, it was really jarring, for me at least. Even though we had seen like spiders throughout the film and the big spider in the city, just that
Yeah.
one, I didn't expect that at all. I was like, whoa, like this is next level.
Yeah.
It was super
Yeah.
shocking.
We're getting later on in the podcast, so I wanted to ask you, now that we've dissected it more, like, have your feelings changed at all when it comes to the film?
I love every second of the film. I just didn't like the way it ended.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
I
was
think
it for me.
I think this movie does take some what is it, explanation, some more kind of like discussion. It's more to be discussed about than just like to kind of just take in.
Right.
You have to actually you have to put out something about this movie as well. So I feel like watching it the first time around and then just kind of trying to understand it on my own, it wouldn't be that great of a movie. But if you have other people that you can bounce around ideas and other stuff and try to figure out this movie, it could be a better movie than what I initially thought.
Yeah.
Awesome. Through thinking of it, my enjoyment and appreciation has increased significantly. But let's go around and just give reviews. I'll go first, if you don't mind.
All right.
I would give this probably a B.
Okay.
Maybe lean on a B plus. It's
What did it?
I feel
for
like
you?
it's a very well made film, but again, it's the praise I had for Uncut Gems was that it's very accessible and that there's no barrier to enjoy it. Like, even if you don't appreciate the techniques, like the story itself or just the tone of it can like capture anyone's attention.
Yeah.
This movie cannot do that for people at all.
No.
So it's not accessible. So I feel like for me to just say this is an amazing film, but is to like ignore most people's feelings, or not feelings, but like how they view film. And I feel like if you create barriers for people, like, you're only making the film, I guess, subjectively worse, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Isaac?
Oh, man, I'm so torn. I'm between.
I mean, if you want to hold off, I'll give my.
I'm between a B minus and a C plus. I think I'm gonna go C plus for the same reason that you said, because it's not the most accessible film, and for me the ending ruined it. It's just because it was so good, and then it just had to end like that. I'm like, wait, what? There's no real resolution to it. I feel like it didn't really resolve well. It just sort of ended, and you kind of already know what's gonna happen next, but like you never really see like a true downfall for him, if you get what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then other than like it's not a film that I would watch again. I don't know, because it's such a dark, depressing and very dull tone. Although it's beautifully
Yeah.
shot. I love all the cinematography again, but
I mean, yeah, even the way it was shot, the colors and everything.
yeah, it was beautiful.
Like
And I love Jake Gyllenhaal.
Adam's attire was always like browns and grays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a C plus.
And then you, Brian?
I would say C plus as well. My reasoning is because if this movie wasn't your pick, I would have just stopped it halfway through, because there were moments where it was like slow, and for me, I was trying hard to just go with it. There were movies that there was parts where it grabbed my attention, then other parts where I was just like, man, how much longer do I have until this movie ends, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then when the ending came up, I was just like, what the hell? Like, really, you're gonna end with this? Like, it's not, from in my opinion, I wouldn't watch it again. And then I also wouldn't have watched it in the way that you watched it, where you were very observant to like all the minor details. I was just trying to go with the flow, like watch the movie, try to see what's going on, and try to understand the premise, but not really focus on any of the minor details. And so I would have missed out on a lot of that you guys have said earlier.
Yeah.
But that's just the way that I watched the movie, and I feel like that's also a way a lot of people consume the movies too. They try to find a movie, put it in the background, kind of like get to enjoy, like to have good scenes that come out and like let them gravitate their attention towards whatever they are doing. Especially nowadays, at least that's how I feel.
Yeah, I feel like again, like with the Uncut Gems comparison, like Uncut Gems, it just steals your attention completely. Whereas this
Yeah,
film, like you really have to like sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna watch this. I need to put my phone away. Like I can't do
yeah,
anything else. Whereas
yeah.
Uncut
Because with
Gems, it
Enemy,
makes you
there's
put your phone down. You know,
yeah,
like it's that sort of
there.
thing.
I mean, with Enemies, there's just like a bunch of scenes where it's like, I think starting off, it was there were scenes of him just going to bed, waking up, going to all that stuff, like his routine. And like for me, those moments, if it was like, I would have just kind of paid and wouldn't have paid attention. It would have just kind of like lost me at points like that.
Yeah.
Like versus like Uncut Gems, I could just it just like gravitated my attention. Like a lot of the stuff in that movie, it kind of you kind of just it brings you back to it.
I guess one more thing I wanted to mention. I don't think I've ever seen a film like this before, and I enjoyed it because it's really unique in that sense of it's really it's sort of surreal and like there's a bunch of different theories and like it's so you really have to it really makes you want to be invested in it, but it doesn't get you invested immediately, if that makes sense. Like, oh, like there's a lot here
Yeah.
I can explore, but it doesn't mean that it's like super
Yeah, it's like
captivating.
you have the options to explore it, but does that really mean that you're gonna do it?
Yeah.
Because it's like it's cool that there's like a lot of information out there, other people's like discussions on it. But then in the end, it's like, is that person really gonna watch this movie and then go out of their way to try to read some reviews, listen to someone else talking about it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on how they are.
Kevin, any last thoughts?
Yeah, I have two thoughts.
Oh.
So first, endings are very important here at RTF because if you remember our review of $1 Million Baby, you guys enjoyed the film, but the ending killed it for you.
Don't
if you guys
remind me
remember
of
that.
that film, man.
Don't
Yeah.
remind me, bro.
Then that it turned your maybe A- film into a C+ film. I don't think this is as enjoyable as $1 Million Baby, but I'm just saying. And then
Yeah,
the second point I'd like to make is that the whole film has a yellow tint, and
Yeah,
I like to think Isaac is doing that purposefully in his recording.
It's all me. I'm Anthony, by the way. I'm not Isaac anymore. I'm Anthony now.
Show me your hands. You gotta shake them.
I was trying to
Wait,
shake, but my
Do you have a
camera's
scar? Do you have a scar on your rib?
Do you want to see?
No, don't lift up your shirt. All right, for next week or whenever we make it, it'll be very soon since we're all very bored. It's Isaac's turn, and he has already revealed what movie he's going to pick. Would you like to tell them?
It's a secret. They'll find out.
It's gonna be good, fella.
I changed my pick in case you're
Oh,
wondering.
you changed it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to that one.
I was excited to watch it too.
All right.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, be sure to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and subscribe on the podcast app too. We have a lot of followers there too. We don't forget about you. We're grateful.
And be sure to check out our upcoming COD videos.
Oh yeah, we have some fun gameplay.
Crazy kills.
And of course, me being the best leader of the team, as always. So
I'll show videos that are contradictory. That's it.
Well, I don't know about that. All right, thanks again. We've been rolling the film
guys.
on Enemy. Thank you.